Okay. Okay. Okay, I'd like to call the regular meeting of December 8th, 2025 to order. I ask all who have not signed in, please do so. Please turn off all cell phones and other electronic devices, and please conduct any private conversations in the hallway or outside. This meeting room is equipped with the inductive loop hearing assistance system. Our emergency exits can be found to your right and to your left. This meeting is also live streamed via YouTube with text commenting available. At this time, if you please join the town board in a salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Couple announcements before we get into the public hearing. I'll introduce her when she comes downstairs, but we have our new town board member-elect, Jen Tipton. She'll be joining us momentarily. I wish to declare Councilman Cusimano necessarily absent this evening. All town departments will close early at 1 p.m. on Christmas and New Year's Eve. All town departments will be closed on Thursday, December 25th for Christmas and Thursday, January the 1st for New Year's. Approval of the November 24th Town Board meeting minutes will be on the pay bills only meeting scheduled for December 22nd. Last Friday, December the 5th, I had the pleasure of attending the Ontario County Sheriff's Office Annual Holiday Awards Luncheon. I bring that up because our town clerk, Karen Bodine's son, Deputy Cameron Bodine, was awarded the 2025 Law Enforcement Officer of the Year.
Nice.
And what it resonated on a lot of folks I was sitting with is that the entire Bodine family, including Deputy Bodine's wife and children, were in attendance. So Karen, again, from all of us, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time,
You want to do roll
oh, my apologies, I keep,
That's
it's just throwing me off.
Jack Marin,
Here.
Dave Condon,
Here.
Mike Guinan, here. Alexis Olgra.
Here.
Thank you, Karen. I'll try to improve in that area. Okay. Public hearing?
Notice of public hearing, proposed local law to amend the Uniform Construction Codes. It is the opinion of the code enforcement officers and fire marshal, based on guidance from the New York State Division of Building Codes and Standards, to be removing 2020 from these definitions in the town code, and it will remain compliant with the newly adopted 2025 Uniform Code. This public hearing, scheduled for the 8th day of December 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Victor Town Hall, was published in the Daily Messenger newspaper on November 28th, and also a copy was posted on the bulletin board at the Town Hall, Village Hall, and Victor Farmington Library.
Thank you, Karen. At this time, I'm going to ask Keith Maynard, project manager for the town, to give us a overview.
Good evening, Keith Maynard, project manager for the town of Victor. As the town clerk said, the new 2025 Uniform Building Code of the state of New York goes into effect on December 31st. Our town code currently refers to the 2020 version, which is the version that the 2025 version will be replacing. Our code needs to refer to the current Uniform Building Code. That is our mechanism for being able to enforce that. So recommendation from codes and fire marshal is, so we need to remove 2020, but instead of plugging in 2025, if we just generically refer to the Uniform Building Code of the state of New York, we won't have to do this again. They update it every 3 to 5 years. So any questions?
No.
Okay,
Thank you, Keith. At this time, we'll entertain any comments from the public regarding the building code amendment. Again, we'll ask any members of the public here to speak regarding the building code amendment. Hearing none, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And we'll ask our town clerk to introduce manifest number 23.
Manifest number 23 for 2025 in the amount of $287,850.04 has been reviewed by the Victortown Board with the following accounts charged: General Townwide, General Outside Village, Highway Townwide, Victor Fire Protection, the lighting districts of Fishers, Brookwood Meadows, High Point, Cobblestone, Coil Ridge, Rolling Meadows, Stone Lay, and Legacy at the Fairways, S&S Consolidated Sewer Fund, and Trust and Agency.
Thank you, Karen. And as we try to do at every meeting, identify expenditures that are in the range of or exceed $5,000, starting with this evening with payment number 1 to Barclay Damon. These are for November legal fees. There are chargebacks totaling $19,091.64. So next is payment to Bushnell's Basin Fire Department for fire protection for District 1. Heidelberg Industries, Town Road Materials. Payment to Integrated System for IT support. Payment to Labella Associates, professional services for the month of October. There are chargebacks to developers in this invoice as well. Next payment is for Mirabito Energy. This is for November fuel for diesel and gasoline. Next, RG&E, electric for street lighting districts, and payment to Victor Farmington Ambulance for additional EMS coverage for fire districts 1 and 2. Total of the above-mentioned expenditures is $247,706.03. Total town expenditures minus the previously mentioned expenditures equals $40,144.01. Town board members, at this time, do you have any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the payments of.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This evening, we have had no requests for privilege of the floor. Moving to,
Supervisor Merritt, do we need to approve minutes from the 24th? Did we miss that? November 24th?
okay, can you, microphone.
Oh, sorry. We got to approve the minutes for the 24th.
My apologies. They'll be approved at the December 22nd meeting. They're not, have not been completed.
Okay, sorry.
So public comments, let me ask Susie if we have anyone. No. Okay. At this time, we'll ask if there's any members of the public care to address the town board.
Hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm a forensic nurse for the state of New York. Can you hear me?
Nope.
No.
You have to speak a little louder.
Can you hear me now? Oh, there we
Yes.
go.
Yep, thank you.
My name's Caitlin. I'm a forensic nurse for the state of New York. To come to my unit, you have to commit an egregious crime in the throes of a mental health crisis, such as rape or murder. I have worked with the state for a number of years now, and I've been on a nonprofit board for a children's nonprofit that supports about 3,800 participants from Hilton through the Finger Lakes. I'm also a resident here in Victor, New York, and I recently purchased a home near where the Arc of Ontario Foundation purchased a home, and I found out that some of the zoning laws and rules and regulations don't apply to particular businesses because of the individuals that reside in the homes. I went to the meet and greet that was offered by the Arc of Ontario to ask some general questions about how their operation and day-to-day goes. Just different things like, are there narcotics on site, considering it's going to be a home in an R1 residential district. They have been given a $5 million gift, it's my understanding, from a local businessman to purchase different homes here. Our home is near Fishers Road, right near the mall. It's a cul-de-sac type T-boned street, and I found out that louder. Sorry. I found out while I was there that a lot of my questions weren't going to be answered appropriately, or they kind of side-skirted some different things. So I did some research on my own and found out that some of the questions, like are there going to be narcotics on site, are sexual assault offenders going to be allowed to reside in these homes, are people with assaultive behaviors that have resulted in serious injury going to be allowed in these homes in R1 residential districts? And the answer from current staff of the ARC Foundations and previous staff of the ARC Foundations is that they do house these individuals. And I'm coming to local government, state government, and eventually federal government. I'd like to ask for your help in building up some regulations to address some of these concerns if they're going to be operating businesses in neighborhoods with young children, families, and in communities that need certain protections. That's it.
Thank you.
Hello again. Hello again. Melissa Valley, attorney at Harder, Seacrest, and Emery, appearing here on behalf of numerous residents of the Pine Tree Drive neighborhood. Last time we were here, we heard a little bit of an update from the supervisor, kind of on the status.
Excuse me, Melissa, can you just speak a little?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Does it extend? Okay. Last time we were here, we heard a short update from the supervisor just on the status. I assume that there hasn't been an update. Last we heard, the town had sent a letter officially rejecting the second time rejecting the proposed site at 7638 Pine Tree Drive. At the public meeting that was mentioned before by Caitlin, there was representation that an official rejection had been given by the facility owners. So assuming that hasn't happened, when it does, on behalf of the Pine Tree Drive residents, we strongly urge this board to consider making a request to the commissioner to have a hearing that you can do that after you receive the official rejection. As you can tell, there have been issues. We've written letters. There's concerns by the residents here on this street and, in the town in general. Town has offered alternative sites, agreeing that the proposed site is not suitable. The procedure has been, I think, abnormal, to say the least. Importantly, inconsistent with the intent of the mental hygiene law, which really, the purpose of which is to have cooperation with the municipality and transparency, two things of which we maintain have not happened. So all I'd like to say is that, again, we strongly urge this board to consider making that hearing request to the commissioner when it comes time. Thank you.
Thank you. The only thing I would say is we did, the last letter sent to ARC was on November the 6th, and we've heard nothing. I had a phone conversation with the director prior to the public informational session, and then following that as well. And that's been the only correspondence. Okay?
Thank you.
Hello again, everybody. Dan Dupre. So I know that, I think Melissa mentioned that the intent of this mental hygiene law was not to be able to circumvent local zoning laws, such as what they're trying to take advantage of. So be that as it may, the meet and greet session that Caitlin mentioned, the ARC basically said that they have been, with the town, they've been pulling permits, they have town approval, they are, they're not planning to do any major renovation work at the house, but at the same time, he mentioned they've hired an architect and an engineer, and he also said that they have rejected the town's second set of recommended alternative sites. To our understanding, none of that is even true. So we don't really know what's going on here. Secondly, if by some obscure chance that this all gets approved at the end of the process, we certainly hope and pray that the town holds ARC to the letter of the law in terms of what they can do with regard to the conservation easement at the rear of the property. There's a water main easement off to the side of the driveway. There's a turnaround in the front of the house at the end of the street that parking is not allowed. And if we all have to play by the rules, hopefully the town makes them play by the rules. So far, they don't really seem to be playing by the rules. They don't seem to have any respect for the process, and it's really upsetting to all of our neighbors. Thank you.
Anyone else care to address the town board? Okay. And just one other thing I would like to add to the citizens as well. We do have, as I mentioned, we have a new board member that'll be starting on, she'll be sworn in around 1/1/26, and certainly our intention to educate her as soon as possible as well, so. Okay. Moving to reports of town officials. Wes, Keith, or both? Looks like both.
Hello again, Keith Maynard, Project Manager for the town of Victor, and Wes Petty from LaBella Associates. Susie, could we please have that? Okay, thank you. We're here tonight to give the board an update on the minor changes that we have made since the November 24th Town Board meeting to the proposed local law amendment to Chapter 211 of the Town Zoning Code to establish the Commercial Center Zoning District and to amend the official town zoning map to designate Eastview Mall as being in the Commercial Center Zoning District. First, I want to thank the board for the comments and direction that the board gave us at the last town board meeting on the 24th at the public hearing. The biggest concern that we heard at that meeting was in regard to allowing the maximum height of the entire area to be 6-story buildings instead of having it sectioned off to limit how high it could be. This was also a mutual concern expressed by the planning board. Since then, Wes and I discussed several options for dividing the proposed district into different areas and scenarios for building height that would make sense based on topography and how it might affect the view shed of the mall area. What is ultimately in the proposed local law amendment in front of you is the map on the screens. The law now proposes to separate the commercial center zoning district into 3 areas, as you can see. There's between the road, the green line, then the yellow line, and then back to the thruway. The first area would be the first 500 feet of the proposed commercial center zoning district as measured from the pavement edge of New York State Route 96. In this area, the code would allow buildings to be a maximum height of 2 stories or 35 feet tall. And I also wanted to note that the maximum building height allowed under our current zoning at Eastview Mall is that, a max of 2 stories, 35 feet tall. The second area would be between that green or teal line and the yellow line, and that would be between 500 and 1,200 feet from the pavement edge of New York State Route 96 within the proposed commercial center zoning district. In this area, the code would allow buildings to be a maximum height of 3 stories or 50 feet tall. And then the third area would be the area greater than 1,200 foot from the pavement edge of New York State Route 96 within the proposed commercial center zoning district. In this area, the code would allow buildings to be a maximum of 5 stories or 75 feet tall. Please note that this is the area where the tallest buildings in the proposed district would be allowed, and the proposed maximum building height has been reduced from 6 stories to 5 stories since we talked about this last at the November 24th meeting. This proposed reduction in the maximum height also aligns, again, with comments made by the Town of Victor Planning Board. These changes to the proposed local law amendment should provide more restriction for the maximum building height within the proposed commercial center zoning district. Are there any questions or comments?
Feel free, board members, to ask any questions.
No, I like it a lot better because it gets the taller buildings to the back
Yep.
of the property. I also like the fact that it's gradual, and I like the fact that we're not going 6. I think 5's plenty. I think if that becomes explosive with development, I think our next push is going to be getting the DOT and Wilmerite and 490 hooked up so there's easy access on and off, because once the pro shop goes in there and you get the hotel back there, and 96 is going to become more and more congested, and I think that 490 easy on, easy off exit is going to be in the future. But I like this plan. I like what you guys came up with.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I like this option the most too, when they sent it over, and I know there was I think a comment about the Regal. I took a drive back there, did a couple laps to see, I don't know for sure, what 5-story looks like off the top of my head, but it seemed like because it was so low, I figured it would look all right. Maybe
Okay.
we'll get an IMAX theater.
No, I think it looks good also.
Okay,
I like the gradual. I like even the fact that the elevation drop to the north is significant enough, so a 3-story or a 5-story is not going to be much more from the 96 than the front. Your
yes,
elevation levels are the same. It's just the vision from Route 96 going southwest, or northwest, I mean, so that the only way down the road, if you ever see it's going to be if you're on 490, so it's not intrusive, it's not overwhelming, it's not anything, so I think it's a good plan.
okay.
Board members, thank you for your comments, and certainly you sound like you're supportive of this. I mean, we're very fortunate. This mall's been 100% retail, outside of the movie theater, certainly a hotel coming, Chick-fil-A, the restaurants have been an attraction, and now Bass Pro certainly solidifies that it'll continue to be retail for quite some time. But these are now tools in the toolbox for this board or future boards when that day is no longer. So thank you, everyone. Any
Okay.
other comments?
Yeah, thank you also to the town attorney and Wes, and also Adam Reisig and Codes for all the work the last few months. I appreciate it.
Up, guys?
Okay, next in the reports of town officials, you have the Parks and Recreation report, Planning and Building, IT report. Any questions on any of those reports? And as I said, I wanted to introduce somebody, but she wasn't here. So now she is here. So I wanted to introduce Town Board Member-elect Jen Tipton. I did meet with Jen last Thursday morning for a formal introduction earlier today. Her eyes are probably glazed over, but according to my schedule, she started at 7 a.m. She had 14 scheduled meetings with various departments, including tours, as well as a meeting with our town attorney and engineer. So the fact you came downstairs after this kind of day, I guess you are committed. So, welcome. Okay. Board members, I have a few things I want to go over, and then I'll ask for any board member to report on any committees that they have. So there was some recognition of town employees by the Bushnell's Basin Fire District Chief. This was included in this month's comment card. Recognized was our Fire Marshal Bob Graham and Highway Superintendent Mark Years for their support. Keith has scheduled meetings later this week with the head of construction for Bass Pro. The first meeting would be a demo walk of the former Lord & Taylor building on the 11th and a in-house meeting on Friday the 12th. The turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day had over 2,000 individuals signed up. We do not have a final tally at this time or what the dollar amount that was raised. As far as town hall and the Christmas decorations, the talented town employees are responsible for the Christmas decoration in the spirit, which is on full display within this building. This effort showcased this building during the Jingle Mingle event last Saturday and throughout the holiday season. The third annual Victor Menorah Lighting is on Monday, I think that's the 15th. The 15th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
It's Tuesday, the 16th at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Tuesday, December 16th at 6 p.m. The lighting ceremony will be right outside our Veterans Memorial Garden. Refreshments will be available in the main meeting room following the lighting ceremony. The 2026 Town Board Organizational Meeting will take place on January the 5th, starting at 6:30 p.m. Following a short recess, the regular meeting will follow. The second meeting in January will be on Monday, the 26th. That's all I have. Town Board members.
I attended the last village board meeting. They had a proposal for some changes to redo Mead Square Park. It's nothing really set and definite, but they've been going through that process for a little while to get input from the public and drop some ideas, etc. So they reviewed that. They did have a comment about the turkey trot that I think that they'll be working through. There weren't supposed to be road closures, but it seemed like maybe there were some road closures that ended up happening. And then attended Leadership Ontario this past Friday. I was at the Board of Supervisors meeting room over at the county office building. The program has been good so far. I would say this day for myself, as Alyssa Bubb, the deputy county administrator, joked, she said, Alexis, you could probably teach this day, but I did learn a few things or two. So it's been nice. The next one is first week of February, and I believe it is at the County Office of the Aging, but I'm not sure yet. Did stop by Jingle Mingle on Saturday for a little bit. Things seemed like they went really well. Continued the tradition of meeting Elsa, aka Amber, from the Planning and Building Department, and Olaf, and my youngest daughter loved her. So kudos to everyone involved in Jingle Mingle. The weather was probably not what we all wanted, but at least it was winter, so that's what I'll say about it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down. Yes, she does a wonderful job.
She does.
She's-
Who else gets to say Elsa held their baby?
The resemblance is striking.
Yeah, I know. She's great. Hopefully we don't lose her to Disney World.
Thank you. Any other comments, board members? Okay, we will move to resolutions this evening. We're starting with resolution number 1. This is amending the 2025 budget to include the local government records management grant.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 2 is the 2026 and 2027 Victor Farmington Ambulance. 2026, $305,000, and in 2027 will be $325,000.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 3 are a number of budget transfers for operating funds in both the general as well as the B fund and DB.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 4 is amending the 2025 budget to include the associated expenses for the purchase of 7891 and 7901 Lehigh Crossing.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, do we have?
I have a second.
We have a second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, this is the amending the snow and ice New York State contract. They'd like to provide us with some more money, for keeping those roads clear.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, reappointment of the Ontario County Public Health Director as our local health officer. This would be Kate Ott.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 6 is Town of Victor proclamation for Town Councilman Michael Guinan. I'd like to read this. Whereas the Town of Victor proudly recognizes individuals whose leadership, dedication, and public service have strengthened and enriched our community, and whereas Councilman Michael Guinan has faithfully served the residents of the Town of Victor for 10 years, concluding his term on December 31st, 2025, and throughout his service has demonstrated professionalism, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to good governance. Whereas during his tenure, Councilman Guinan played a key leadership role on the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee, contributing to the town's long-range planning efforts and helping shape a thoughtful, sustainable vision for Victor's future. And whereas Councilman Guinan has also provided valuable guidance and support through his participation as a board member of the Victor Local Development Corporation, promoting responsible growth, business development, and partnerships that have strengthened Victor's economic vitality. And whereas Michael has been a highly engaged member of the community, consistently offering his time, insight, and collaborative spirit in support of local initiatives, civic programs, and government operations. And whereas the Town of Victor is deeply grateful for Michael's decade of dedication, his commitment to public service, and his many contributions to the quality of life enjoyed by residents throughout the community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Town of Victor hereby expresses its sincere appreciation to Councilman Michael Guinan for his 10 years of exceptional service to the Victor Town Board and acknowledges the lasting impact of his leadership and community involvement. Be it further proclaimed that the Victor Town Board extends its heartfelt thanks and best wishes to Michael as he completes his term on December 31st, 2025, with appreciation for his legacy of service to the Town of Victor. I have two things that I have not read here, but I do want to mention that Michael's certainly, I know your father and mother are no longer with us, but certainly Michael's father was a former town supervisor and sheriff of Ontario County, and for Michael to follow your father into government himself certainly had to be very special to him. And I was recently, our town clerk provided me this. She saw a resident who was part of this task force. This is a facilities task force, town courts, back in 2003, Local Development Corporation, and I'm quite sure you were a task force member.
I was.
He was. So he has been around for a while. Michael, thank you very much. I know many times I read these proclamations, and we could just read them, or we could actually memorialize it and make it part of by offering a first and a second and a vote, if you would, board members.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you again, Michael.
If I could just say, and I'll try and keep it short, and I know I've only been on the board for 2 years, but I've known Mike for just slightly longer than that. And when you look at us and you see us here on the board, up on the dais here, we're almost on opposite sides. And I jokingly think sometimes, Mike is, I don't want to call you old, but like on the, old Victor versus new Victor, new people coming in, moving in, etc. And I'll often say Mike is like our town board historian because he refers to things not as their addresses or the names of businesses, but as to what former farm they used to be. And I'll have to maybe either ask him what that is, or I'll say to Jack or Dave Condon, where is the, the old Smith farm. I'm not sure what that is, you know, and someone will tell me, oh, that's TJ Maxx. But Mike is one of the most honest people you will ever meet. He will tell you what he's thinking, even if he completely disagrees with you, in the calmest and kindest way I have ever found out of anyone. And I have a tendency to get very excited about projects here in Victor, and Mike is such a calming force. I am going to miss you on the board. I hope you are not a stranger. You know, you can be at the opposite side of this, wagging your finger at us anytime, and you know where to find us. But I just wanted to say thank you, and a special thank you for everything that you did on the solar task force and your leadership in that. That was really something that, you know, I felt very strongly about, and without you, we would not have been able to get that done. So thank you, Mike.
I just have to add to that, I've known Mike a little longer than Alexis. You know, Mike was one of my role models growing up. He's a few years older than me, but I second 100% everything Alexis said. Mike's wisdom, his knowledge, his stewardship of Victor, and his love of his community has driven him to be involved for 35 years. You know, that 2003 task force, he was involved way before that. And we know that. And, you know, I just we are going to miss him and his knowledge. And the nice thing about it is he's not going anywhere. You know, as Jen comes in and takes a seat, you know, there's a huge learning curve. You know, there was for all of us when we first came on the board. And there's a lot to know, and there's a lot to study and understand. And it'll be nice to have Mike still in our circle, still in our corner, if we have questions or things we care to talk about, that we can talk about. I just have valued Mike's friendship and will continue to value it for the rest of my life. So thanks, Mike.
If I could say that, if I look around here, and I wish we had a big audience, and I don't know who's listening, but this room is full of people with nothing but passion. Everybody in here for the town of Victor, and it's great to see. That first task force I was ever on, before even that one, was the Victor Landowners Committee, where a bunch of farmers got together in the early 2000s, and Jack Dinetti headed it up, and we just went around and did a survey of all the land and started throwing our opinion around. And my father said to me, he goes, listen, he says, I just nominated you for a committee. I said, with who? And he says, I don't know yet, but there's a bunch of, and they were all mostly on guys that had farm commitments and stuff, and Jack Dinetti headed up, and he says, I'm too old, and so I elected you, you're on it, and he just volunteered me. That was the first committee I was ever on, so that's how it started. So I do have a knowledge of all the previous farms and land and stuff, and how Victor has grown through the years. Sometimes scary, but it won't, you know, it just needs to be, there needs to be a passion about how we do it. And we're not going to stop the ball from rolling, but we need people on this board, and there are people on this board that really care about where it's going, and where it's been is a big part of it. So I appreciate all of that. So.
Very good. Well said. Thank you, Mike. Okay, resolution number 8 on this evening's agenda is Special Recognition Award for Finance Director Rich O'Donnell, and certainly, you know, there's not many members of the public here, but anyways, during this whole calendar year, whether it was the Lord and Taylor dealing with the state regarding the grant for that, acquisition of the Parks and Recreation building, and then certainly no question about that, the dissolving of the Fishers Fire District, and how we had to quickly assemble a public safety task force to support us through this. And Rich, you were at the forefront of this, and this is to members of the public. This is the town board saying thank you to Rich for a one-time special recognition payment in the amount of $5,000. And Rich, again, can't thank you enough for what you do day in and day out. And so I would like to offer this as the first.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is the New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal and Eastern Shore Associates. This is the 2026 town insurance policies. It has gone up. The renewal has gone up about 25%. A large portion of that is items with based on from the Fishers Fire District. Some of it is equipment, buildings, things of that nature. Certainly, we will work to reduce that as we reduce some of the assets that we currently or will be getting here. In addition, I think the plow truck chassis were added as well. So, like I said, about a 25% renewal for next year, and I think if anything, we could work to bring that down when we reduce some of our assets. So,
So moved.
Second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And number 10, the Victor Town Board hereby appoints the following residents to board and committee positions. And in the last resolve, I certainly want to thank the two individuals whose terms will end at the conclusion of this calendar year. Karen Polidori, Board of Assessment Review, she served for 4 years. And Tim Niver, Parks and Recreation Citizen Advisory, you served for 2 years.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think next I have is the, after public hearing? Yes. Okay, after public hearing on the commercial center. And again, we thank Wes for your time involved and your team, and certainly I know, Keith, you spent a lot of time involved with this as well.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
The after public hearing for the Valentine High Point PDD, that is going to be put aside for now. It was quite extensive and wasn't ready. So, and I normally wouldn't do this, but unfortunately, I want to get it in this calendar year, so it'll be at the pay bills meeting on the 22nd, Monday the 22nd, 8 a.m. Next is the snow and ice agreement with the county.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And follow up to our earlier public hearing, proposed local law to update the revisions on 83-2.
So moved.
Second. Give it to Mike.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On this, number 15, the 2026 intermunicipal agreement for enhanced law enforcement. The only thing on the second resolve, if you have a hard copy in front of you, it should be changed to the 2026 budget line item. And it would be the same change on the following one for courts as well.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And number 16, the court security. Again, amending it to say 2026 budget.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 17, transfer unpaid town and village sewer amounts to Ontario County for the 2026 tax pass. I know when people question me about county government, they say, how come you have to have such high fund balances? Well, this is part of the reason. They have to keep local, smaller village, town, and city governments going until we able to collect that money. So,
So moved.
Second.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
And number 18 is a release a letter of credit for Fairways 3.
So moved.
Okay, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public comment? Okay,
Oh, we have one.
no public comment.
We have one.
Oh,
We have one.
Good evening, Jen Tipton, 14 Ambassador Drive. I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone today who has, I've met with all the department heads, a lot of the staff, and everyone has been so very welcoming and sharing just the vast wealth of knowledge you all have has been very enlightening. I'm very much looking forward to working with all of you and doing great things for this great community we have. So, thank you.
okay, thank you. There's no further comments. We will offer a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.